I'm Mayor Greg Stanton, and I want to welcome everyone to this beautiful Phoenix day and a beautiful location here in the city of Phoenix as we have our grand opening for what will be inevitably one of the most special places in our entire community, and that is Starfish Place. I want to welcome everyone to this great grand opening of Starfish Place, the nation's first long-term housing project for human trafficking victims and their children. First in the nation, right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And we've gathered today for this grand opening because everyone here knows what a serious issue human trafficking is. Not someplace else, right here. Not some other country, right here in the United States of America, right here in the state of Arizona, right here in the city of Phoenix. And we are all here because we understand that everyone has a responsibility to fight human trafficking. Not just law enforcement, although law enforcement is critically important, not just city officials or government. Everyone in our community has to be part of the solution. Perpetrators of human trafficking, by nature, operate under the radar. But this type of organized crime is happening throughout our communities and throughout our country. In the city of Phoenix, in 2013, we established the Phoenix Human Trafficking Task Force to find long-term solutions to lead the way in combating human trafficking. Our task force plan, and our chair is here, Councilman Waring, who will talk more detail. Our task force plan has been a multi-pronged approach that include victim services, awareness and outreach, and of course training for law enforcement. And I, as mayor, owe a huge thank you to my colleague, Councilman Jim Waring, for leading the City of Phoenix Human Trafficking Task Force. And a co-chair of that, of our task force is, of course, Cindy McCain. She unfortunately couldn't be here today. But make no mistake, because I know maybe someone is Facebooking live this right now. I'm sure she's watching from where she's at. Cindy, the bottom line is, without your leadership, this day wouldn't be happening in the city of Phoenix. People all over the city owe you a huge, huge debt of gratitude for your passionate leadership in fighting human trafficking. And yes, this is the first in the nation, Starfish Place here in Phoenix, but we know using your bully pulpit, your international bully pulpit, you're going to get the word out, and many other cities across the United States and across the globe are going to copy what we're doing. And we like that. We want cities to copy exactly what we're doing here in Phoenix, Arizona. And from the city of Phoenix perspective, this took a team effort. And I want to thank our teammates that are here today, our Assistant Chief of the Phoenix Police Department, Mary Roberts, our Human Services Department Director, Mo Gallegos, and he's soon to retired with a great legacy. The new leader is here as well, Marshall Franklin, our new Human Services Director. Chris Hallett from Neighborhood Services is here. From our Housing Department, Cindy Stotler, our Deputy City Manager who makes it all happen, Deanna Jonovich, and our Chief Prosecutor, Vicki Hill. Just a small number of the City of Phoenix leaders who are passionate on the issue of fighting human trafficking and were instrumental in making this happen, Starfish Place. In Phoenix, we are sending a message that we will not tolerate an inherently harmful industry that deprives people in our own backyards of their basic human rights. And as a community, we will embrace and help our most vulnerable. Collectively, we are having an impact toward our goal of ending human trafficking in our communities. And I owe a special debt of gratitude also to those who have donated time, money, their support, sweat equity here at Starfish Place, where we've created a beautiful environment where victims can focus on moving forward in a trauma-informed, safe place. So those people that deserve special thanks include the Senator John and Cindy McCain Family Foundation, Lisa Sleep, who is donating all of those wonderful mattresses that are in those rooms. Thank you. The Hickey Family Foundation, the Arizona Anti-Trafficking Network, and Arizona State University, who has been a just incredible partner in leading these efforts. We also wouldn't be here if it weren't for how fortunate we are to have ASU as our partner. By working together, we can make meaningful difference. We've made great strides here in the city of Phoenix, but we always are asking the question, what more can we do? What we've done is good, but it's the least we can do. What else can we do to help end human trafficking? And together, we hope to inspire everybody to do more to fight human trafficking in our communities. Everyone, we're asking to look in the mirror and say, what more can I do? Do my part to be part of the solution to human trafficking. Now it's my honor to introduce my friend and colleague, Councilman Jim Waring. His great leadership on the Phoenix Human Trafficking Task Force has helped make this day possible. A passionate leader, Councilman Waring.
Well, I just wanted to thank Mayor Stanton for pointing me to this task force. He undersold in his remarks about how injurious this is to our community. The Johns who are participating in that, if you're listening on the news tonight or wherever you may see that, the behavior you're engaging is absolutely disgusting. He was right to identify this as a day-to-day problem in Phoenix. It is not related to any one event. It is not related to our location. It goes on every day here in Phoenix. I'm appalled, actually, to have to say that. But we in Phoenix identified this as a problem long ago. A lot of big cities don't even have a vice squad. Some of our officers were identified. Some of them you see in the audience here right now. You know what? Thank you for your efforts, because people's lives are ruined. You should come and hear the victims speak at our task force. It is just incredible what adults do to kids. I don't understand it, and I have no sympathy for those people who get arrested and get the full weight of the law coming down upon their heads for their behavior. It is just abhorrent to me. I want to thank Cindy McCain. Without her efforts, this wouldn't be possible. But it's not just here in Arizona where she has made an impact, it's internationally. And she deserves every round of applause she gets and every award she receives for her work on this issue, because there are a lot of demands on her time. There are a lot of things, frankly, she could be doing besides this, but she chose to make this a priority for her, and we are all benefiting. Our community is benefiting, and we appreciate her very much. There were three departments that work on this: housing, neighborhood services, and human services. I want to thank particularly Cindy Stotler, who I know is here somewhere in the audience. She leaped to the challenge that we put before her to find a facility like this. As the mayor mentioned, it's the first facility of its kind, and we're very proud of that in Phoenix. You know, it's one thing, sometimes the mayor and I don't always agree, but sometimes, you know, things don't always run as smoothly as you'd like. I know it's shocking. Try not to spill your coffee, Mayor, but every once in a while we disagree, but there are things we agree on, making our communities better. This is the kind of project that cities should be engaged in. This makes our community better. You can see this facility behind me. It's spectacular. It exceeds, I think, all expectations, and that's from the work of Cindy and others who really made this possible. And it's just fantastic that we're here. The kind of services and treatment that people need, that families need, are all going to be available here in one location. Is it enough? No, not to solve everybody's problems. But it's a fantastic start, and we as Phoenicians should be very proud of what's been done here. I know there are other members of the task force who are here, so maybe if you just raise your hands so the audience can identify you. I know I saw several of you here. Thank you very much for your service. This will shock some of you. We've been at this almost 4 years. It's kind of hard to believe. But we started, I think, the first meeting might have been December of 2013 when the mayor suggested we put this task force together. And my only issue was, let's not do it around any one big event. We had a big event coming up in the Valley that maybe initiated this. But let's keep going. Let's make sure that we never lose sight of this as an issue. I heard a defense attorney give a speech a couple years ago, and he was going back about 5 years, probably to about 2010. He goes, this issue as a crime, males were getting arrested. They didn't even know it was that big of a deal. How far we've come, where you see billboards, the sports teams rallying behind this to fight this kind of insidious activity. We should be really proud of that, because a few years ago, much like drunk driving and other issues in the past, people weren't really focused on it, and it was ruining a lot of lives. And now we can make a lot of positive change. So I appreciate all your efforts here today. It is fantastic to have you here. We're here in District 3. Wish I could say District 2. But my colleague Deborah Stark, my relatively new colleague, but she was a longtime city staffer, so we had worked together. So I'm not surprised about how supportive she's been right from the start on this issue. She's been a true champion for us, and we appreciate it. And we're proud to be here in District 3. And Deborah, if you want to come up and say a few words, we really appreciate having you here today.
Just push this down. Nothing like following tall men or tall women. But thank you, Councilman Waring. I really appreciate your comments. It is a pleasure, and it's with a lot of pride that I say this is located in District 3. And I'm also proud to say the city is a leader on the issue of human trafficking. This is a permanent supportive housing, so the residents can stay as long as they remain qualified for assisted living. Our goal is to work with residents towards independence, something we hope they can achieve within a couple of years so they can serve additional victims, and we can serve additional victims and their families. We currently have 8 applicants under review, and 4 are in the process for Section 8 approval. We hope to move the first families in next week, right, Cindy? Okay. Yes. We are on our way. I also want to thank ASU and Dr. Dominic Rowe-Sepowitz. It's hard. The sun's shining. It's kind of hard to see you guys out there. But you helped us develop the service model, and I know you'll be evaluating the model and the success of this program. But we still need help furnishing this community. So if you'd like to donate, go to phoenix.gov, stop human trafficking. And now I'd like to introduce Dean Koppel to discuss Arizona State's partnership in this effort.
Thank you, Councilwoman. So you stole my first line, which was, I do want to recognize Dominique, who has been an inspiration, not just with this project, but her work on human trafficking. And she'd be the first to tell you that it wouldn't be possible without the partnership with so many individuals and agencies, the Phoenix city government, as well as nonprofits in the community. And so I want to recognize Dominique, but I also want to recognize all those partners. So thank you. Dominique is a force of nature. I think everybody who works with her would agree with that. But what's critical about this project, in addition to Dominique's work, is that everything that we try and do in the community is about involving our students who are learning while they're doing. We don't view education as something you do before you get involved. And so I think that many of our students who are involved in this project are here today. There's 17 students who are working today, and I'd like you to raise your hands or stand up if you're not already standing up, so you can see the ASU students are going to be working on this. They're all going to be shy and not want to get attention. But this is going to be a project that is going to not only address a critical issue, as the previous speakers have said, but it's going to prepare next generation of individuals committed to working on this issue going forward. And it is a critical issue. And I just want to say a quick word of why it is that Arizona State University and President Crow invested in this project. It is totally consistent with the values of the university, and I think everybody in Arizona has heard and knows what ASU claims as its mandate, to be both accessible and inclusive, even as we pursue excellence. And this project is about accessibility and inclusiveness in our community, and building a facility that allows for individuals who've seen sort of the worst that the world has to offer to see something different. And I want to make a sort of observation about this magnificent facility and what it means, because it would be easy to imagine that a facility with this purpose would meet the bare minimum, right? It would be okay, but not particularly nice. This is a spectacular place, and it's entirely appropriate, because what this project to me is about is human potential, right? The individuals who will be living here are not merely trafficking survivors. They're individuals with tremendous potential. And the reason to have Arizona State be accessible and inclusive is because we recognize the potential of each human being. In order to realize that potential, individuals have to be treated with respect and dignity, and they have to be given opportunity. And to me, that's what Starfish Place is about. It's about treating these individuals not merely as victims, but as individuals with the vast potential of every human being, and giving them a platform to realize that potential. And I'm incredibly excited to be part of that. I'm pleased to let you know that as part of this initiative, we are going to designate several slots within our, again, first in the country, Public Service Academy at ASU, which is a 4-year program modeled roughly on the Reserve Officer Training Corps, but for people pursuing civilian public service. We are reserving at least 5 slots within our Public Service Academy for human trafficking survivors. And we are excited. We are excited to, in that way, contribute to this development of human potential. It's tremendous to be here today. Our dedication in the College of Public Service and Community Solutions, which I'm privileged to lead, is to finding solutions to problems. The most important thing is to recognize that these problems are not simply facts of life that have to be accepted, but rather they are solvable, addressable, if only we decide to do so, and if only we agree to work together across institutional boundaries, maybe political divides, and simply find solutions. That's what it means to be pragmatic and practical and not get hung up on turf and all these things. And all of us standing here today is evidence that any impediments can be overcome if you're dedicated to solving the most difficult problems in our midst. Thank you.
Go next. Okay. People who have been victims of human trafficking come from all walks of life, all racial backgrounds, religious backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. And as Dean Capel just mentioned, if they can be saved from that and can go on to do incredible things, resiliency is a characteristic. We're lucky to have here today a very famous, well-known actress, an activist, and leader who was kind enough to take time out of her busy schedule to be here to tell her story and to share that story to inspire so many others. That person is Anna Lynn McCord. Anna Lynn.
Lots of tall men. I like that, though. That's a good thing. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It's very warm. It's very hot. This place is so beautiful, and the first thing that struck me about it was it feels like love, something we sometimes don't have enough of. I had my first experience with how amazing Phoenix as a city is in fighting human trafficking a couple years ago when the Super Bowl was here, and I am just completely blown away by the continued efforts, and I hope that they're trendsetters. I hope that our country listens and continues this trend in other cities. But for me personally, a little bit about myself, I was speaking at the Unsung Heroes event at the Super Bowl a couple of years. So I'm the ambassador for the No More campaign. I've been through a few things in my life, some abuses, sexual assault, things that I tucked away and didn't want anyone to know, and certainly didn't want to ever say in front of a group of people like this, and definitely not when cameras are rolling. But it's people like the woman that I'm going to introduce who make it possible for women like me to be able to feel that her story is worth something, that it's worth talking about. I've been working with anti-human trafficking efforts for the last 8 years, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. This is a global issue. We have to hold hands. We do have to go across political divides, or, we're working, obviously what you said, Dean, really touches me personally. I know the incredible power of being able to have an education and that gift and feeling that sense of dignity, that you have something that no one can take away. You have knowledge, and that is an incredible opportunity that ASU is offering. But for me personally, all of these things that we feel that are bad in the world come from fear, right? And moments like this are about love. And I believe that there are two things in the world. One is real and one is not. Love is real, and fear is an illusion. Love casts out fear. This place is love. what mayor here, councilmen, councilwomen, our vice, our police officers, everyone here today and the efforts that they do, if it's not bad, then it's good, then it's love, it's not fear. So for me, I read a quote that you said, Lois, what do we do with all the ugliness and the pain? What can we do with that? We can use it to heal. We can use it to heal others, and in that process, we heal ourselves. For me, that work was getting involved. I thought I've been working overseas, but this is obviously a global issue, so I try to raise awareness around the world about it. But I thought I was going to go get on a plane and help some kids in Cambodia, and they saved my life. And when I say they saved my life, I mean I didn't want to live for a long time, and now I want to live. And Lois Lucas is an incredible woman who, as a caseworker, she gives hope to young women who might otherwise be seen as criminals. She stands there and advocates with them, and she lets them know that someone believes in them and that someone is there for them. But more than that, someone has been there where they've been. And the power of being able to have someone look you in the eye and say, hey, I got through what you are going through right now, and you're going to do it too. You might not see it as a person. I remember my girls, I was going to Cambodia for 5 years. This was like 3 years ago, and I finally was okay telling survivors of sex trafficking that I had gone through this one time, one night. And I'm crying and the whole thing, and like, oh, this is what happened to me. And they're like, okay, sister, okay, happened to you. And I'm like, do I get a hug or something? Like, kind of just poured my heart out here. And they said, okay, you're okay, sister, it's okay. And it was several months later that I realized what they actually did for me. They said, you might be worried right now, but we already see that you're okay. And the power of what Lois can do when she looks in the eyes of another survivor, I don't like to call them victims, I like to call them survivors, because that's what they are. And when she can look them in the eye and say, you're okay, it's going to be okay. They might not feel that now, but they will one day. And every single person here, every single person watching, every single person who has felt hurt or unworthiness, or that, you know, they didn't deserve love for whatever reason, you do. I love you. This place is all about love. And Lois is going to come up here in a second and share her story of probably moving from fear to love, and how, you know, for 12 years since she got out, she has dedicated her life to healing other people, and in that process healed herself. So thank you very much for having me. Oh, and she did say that she doesn't really like public speaking, but she does it for the cause. So guys, really, really cheer her on here.
Hi, I'm Lois Lucas, and I am a survivor. I am so honored and excited to be here today to help celebrate the grand opening of the Starfish Place. This is a magic place with love, support, and encouragement built right in. So like I said, I'm a survivor. I did live that life for a long time. I now work in the field, and after 1 year of recovery at the Dignity House, I was chosen to come on board as a case manager for the prostitution diversion program for the city of Phoenix. So now I've been in the field 10 years, and I believe that a special apartment complex like this has been the missing link for a long time here in Phoenix. Now that void is filled with a safe, secure place for these troubled families to heal, change, and grow. If something like this would have been available for me 12 years ago, when I needed help, my story may have been completely different. Maybe I could have recovered while keeping and raising my son instead of him going out for adoption and becoming a total stranger to me. I did get to meet him again when he was 18. He found me. And that beautiful hearted boy just said, new beginnings for us. And it has been. We've had a great relationship today, and only because I changed my life. He calls me Lois. I'm not his mom. He has a mom. But I only changed my life because some women came up alongside me and helped me. There were programs here in Phoenix that I got to heal in a safe residential facility that really understood the challenges involved in getting out of the dangerous and addictive lifestyle. But children weren't allowed then. It was just single women. And but now this fantastic place, the Starfish Place, will be giving women and children their own new beginnings, their own new start. There's a lot involved in healing from this. There are so many layers of trauma and abuse, but there is recovery for this population, and I'm living proof. I'm not the only one. There are many recovery survivors here out in Phoenix, out living a clean, healthy life. And there are a lot of survivors with children ready to get here, get the help they need to change their lives. There's just no place to go before today. So thank you, City of Phoenix, and everyone involved for creating this special place where sex trafficking survivors don't get to just survive, they get to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois, for your courage and for the great talk and inspiring words and what you do every day to help survivors and to be an inspiration. Also, Anna Lynn, thank you for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule of being here and for telling your story and being an inspiration as well. Again, this is a great day for our community where Phoenix is leading the way. Now, we don't rest on any laurels. We know that today's a great day, and tomorrow we roll up our sleeves and say, what's next? What more can we do to help those survivors? But today we do have a little bit of a celebration, and hopefully other cities around the country will learn by our example, follow our lead here locally, and open starfish places around the United States of America. So that concludes today's event. We can't wait till our first families move in as early as next week. That is super exciting. I want to thank again all those who have helped make this possible, who have helped donate. We are asking the community, these beautiful rooms and apartments do need additional furnishings, so we will be accepting additional donations, either financial donations, or if you do have good furniture that you would like to donate to here at Starfish Place, we will be accepting that as well. So think about opening up your hearts or wallets to help continue to make this a huge success. So today is a great day in the city of Phoenix, and I think we're going to end this with a photo op. I'm not sure where, but someone will lead us in the right direction. A great day in our city. Thanks everyone for being here.